My parents want me to trick my fiancé into marrying my twin sister. My twin sister has always been the favorite. Growing up, my parents made me do everything for her. Homework, chores, even her college applications. They said it was practice for when they're gone. I basically raised her while working 3 jobs just to survive. Despite all that, I somehow met Owen. He's kind, funny, and treats me like I actually matter. We met at a coffee shop where I was working my morning shift. He came in every day for 2 weeks before finally asking me out. When I brought him home to meet my family 6 months later, they were amazing. Hugs, compliments, the whole thing. My sister even joked about stealing him. I laughed it off. My dad shook his hand like they were old friends. My mom kept saying how handsome he was and how lucky we were to have him in the family. My sister gave him a tour of the house and showed him all our childhood photos. She pointed out every picture where we looked identical, laughing about how no one could ever tell us apart. Owen was so relieved they liked him because he knew how complicated my family situation was. He'd heard all my stories about being the unpaid nanny to my own twin. We spent that night planning our future, talking about honeymoon destinations, where we'd live, how many kids we wanted. I felt lighter than I had in years, like I was finally allowed to be happy. The next day, my parents called me over for brunch. Owen was at work, so it was just family. I walked in expecting mimosas and wedding planning, maybe talk about venues or color schemes. Instead, the energy felt off. My sister wouldn't look at me. My parents were too calm, too rehearsed. My mom poured me orange juice and sat down across from me. Then she said, "We need you to let your sister take your place at the wedding." I genuinely thought she was joking. I laughed nervously and said that was weird, but my dad backed her up with a completely straight face. They said my sister would never find anyone on her own. She's too shy, too awkward, too dependent. And since Owen wouldn't be able to tell us apart anyway, we're identical twins after all, it made perfect sense for her to just step into my life. They had the whole thing planned out. My sister would show up to the wedding as me. They'd make sure I wasn't there. Owen would marry her thinking it was me. And by the time he figured it out, it would be too late. He'd be stuck with her. Then they'd help me find someone else later. Like Owen was some kind of hand-me-down jacket I could just pass along. I told them absolutely not. That Owen was my fiancé and I loved him. My mom's face twisted into something ugly. She called me selfish. My dad said I was ruining my sister's only chance at happiness. They said after everything they'd done for me, letting me live in their house, feeding me, raising me, I owed them this. My sister finally looked up with tears in her eyes and said, "Please, you know I'll never get this opportunity again. You're prettier, smarter, better at everything. Just give me this one thing." I asked if she was seriously okay with this and with tricking a man into marrying her. She nodded. She actually nodded like it was the most reasonable thing in the world. I stood up and told them they were all insane. My mom started crying and saying I was breaking her heart. My dad said if I walked out that door, I was no longer their daughter. I grabbed my purse and left anyway. Within an hour, my phone started blowing up. My aunts, my cousins, even my grandmother were calling me cruel and heartless for not helping my sister. They're saying I'm being dramatic and that I should just share my fiancé like he's a toy we fought over as kids. One cousin texted me saying I was selfish for not thinking about the family's reputation. Another said, "Your sister deserves happiness too." I blocked everyone and went back to Owen's apartment where I'd been staying. I told him everything, expecting him to be horrified. But then he held me and said we'd get through it together. We decided to move the wedding up by 2 weeks and not tell my family the new date. Everything was perfect until the ceremony. I was walking down the aisle when I saw my sister sitting in the front row wearing the exact same dress as me. My heart stopped. Literally, I felt my chest seize up. The music was still playing, and Owen was standing at the altar looking confused as hell, glancing between me and her. My sister stood up slowly, dramatically, like she'd rehearsed this moment 1,000 times in her head. The officiant, this sweet older man we'd hired, noticed the commotion and stopped mid-sentence. His eyes went wide behind his glasses. He said, looking between us. "There appears to be some confusion here." My sister smiled. Not a nervous smile, not an apologetic one. A smile that said she thought she'd already won. "I'm the real bride," she announced to the entire church. Her voice carried, clear and confident. "There's been a terrible mistake." I felt Owen's family behind me shifting uncomfortably. His mom made this little gasping sound. But what really got me was seeing my parents stand up on the other side of the aisle, both nodding like this was totally normal. My dad actually had the nerve to smile encouragingly at my sister. "What the hell is going on?" Owen's voice cut through the murmuring crowd. He stepped down from the altar, walking past me toward my sister. For one horrible second, I thought maybe he really couldn't tell us apart. Maybe this insane plan was actually going to work. Then he turned to me, and I saw the recognition in his eyes, the love, the trust. He knew exactly who I was. "Babe," he said quietly. "What is this?" I couldn't speak. My throat was completely closed. My sister took that as her opportunity. "Owen, honey, I know this is confusing, but it's me, your fiancé." She reached for his hand and he jerked back like she'd tried to burn him. "I don't know what game you're playing," Owen said, his voice hard now, "but you need to sit down." My sister's smile faltered, just for a second. Then my mom was there, grabbing Owen's arm. "Please, you have to understand. My other daughter, she's not well. She's been obsessed with her sister's relationship. We tried to keep her away today, but that's a lie." The words burst out of me finally. Everyone turned to stare. My hands were shaking so hard I had to clasp them together. "That's a complete lie and you know it, Mom." I looked around the church. All these people, Owen's friends, his family, people from his work who'd taken time out of their Saturday to celebrate with us. They deserved to know the truth. I walked up to the microphone the officiant had been using. "Can I borrow this for a second?" I didn't wait for an answer. My fingers fumbled with my clutch purse until I found my phone. "I want everyone here to know what's really happening." What's been happening? I pulled up my messages. Started with the first one from 2 days after we'd announced our engagement. My mom's text: "You need to reconsider this wedding. Your sister needs Owen more than you do." I read it out loud. Then the next one, and the next one. My dad's message about how I was being selfish. My sister's late-night voicemail where she was crying, begging me to just let her have this one thing, saying I'd always had everything and she'd had nothing. Owen's mom stood up. She's this tiny woman, barely 5 feet tall, but her voice was like steel. "Get out, all of you, right now." My mom tried to argue. "You don't understand the full situation." I understand perfectly. Owen's dad was up now too. He's this big guy, played football in college, and when he moved toward my family, they actually stepped back. "You tried to trick my son into marrying the wrong woman. You're lucky we're in a church right now because otherwise I'd..." His wife grabbed his arm. "Everyone needs to leave," the officiant said firmly. He wasn't so sweet looking anymore. "This ceremony is over. The church is closing." I watched my family file out. My sister was crying now, real tears, mascara running down her face. My parents had their arms around her like she was the victim in all this. Not one of them looked back at me. Owen's family started ushering out the guests, making apologies. I heard his cousin saying something about a family emergency and mental illness, but honestly, it all sounded underwater. I was still standing there in my wedding dress, holding a phone full of evidence that my family was insane. Owen came up behind me, put his hands on my shoulders. "Let's get out of here." We went back to his apartment, still in our wedding clothes. I kicked off the heels that had been killing me for the last hour and collapsed on his couch. Owen disappeared into the kitchen and came back with 2 beers. We don't usually day drink, but honestly, it felt appropriate. "So," he said after we'd sat in silence for like 10 minutes. "That was fun." I started laughing. I couldn't help it. The whole situation was so absurd. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I should have known they'd try something. I should have..." "Hey!" He pulled me against his chest. "None of this is your fault, okay? Your family is crazy. That's on them, not you." I was about to respond when his phone buzzed, then buzzed again, and again. He pulled it out and his face went pale. "What?" I asked. He showed me the screen. Text messages from a number that wasn't saved in his contacts. "These have been coming in for weeks. I thought it was you being stressed about the wedding." I grabbed the phone. Read through the messages. They started normal enough, stuff about wedding planning and honeymoon ideas. But then they got weird, talking about how we should postpone the wedding, how maybe we were rushing into things, asking if Owen had ever thought about whether I was really the right person for him. "I thought you were having cold feet," Owen admitted. "I was trying to be supportive, give you space to work through it." "This isn't my number." I showed him my phone. "Look, this is my number. I never sent any of this." We spent the next hour going through his phone. The fake number had been texting him for 3 weeks, sometimes late at night, sometimes early in the morning, always saying things that would make Owen doubt me, doubt us. "Your sister's been pretending to be you." Owen's jaw was clenched. "She's been messing with my head for weeks." I felt sick, like actually nauseous, because suddenly everything made sense. The way Owen had been more distant lately, how he'd seemed distracted. I'd thought it was just wedding stress. But no, my sister had been systematically trying to destroy my relationship from the inside. "I need to see what else she's done," I said. I still had a key to my parents' house. They'd never asked for it back, probably because they never thought I'd actually use it. "Babe, I don't think that's a good idea." Owen was looking at me like he was worried I might do something rash, which, fair. I just need to know. I need to understand how long this has been going on. I changed out of my wedding dress and into jeans and a t-shirt. Owen insisted on coming with me. We drove to my parents' house in silence. Their car wasn't in the driveway. They were probably still at the church, doing damage control with the relatives who'd witnessed the whole disaster. I used my key to get in. The house smelled the same as always, like my mom's lavender candles and coffee. It felt surreal, being back here after everything. I went straight to my sister's room. Her room was exactly how it had always been. Posters of boy bands on the walls, makeup scattered across the dresser, clothes everywhere. But on her desk, I found her diary. She'd always kept one, ever since we were kids. Used to write in it every night before bed. I opened it to the most recent entry. The date was from last week. "Owen came to the coffee shop today." I read out loud. Owen was standing in the doorway, looking uncomfortable. He didn't recognize me at first. I was wearing her perfume, had my hair styled like hers. He smiled at me the same way he smiles at her. It felt so good. Like maybe he could love me instead if he just got to know me, the real me. I've been going to his work every Tuesday during his lunch break. Sometimes he's there, sometimes he's not. But when he is, I make sure he sees me. I pretend to be her. I wave. I smile. I'm building the foundation. By the time we swap at the wedding, he'll already be used to seeing me in her place. I flipped back further. Found entries from 2 months ago. I created a new phone number today. I'm going to start texting him, pretending to be her. Just small things at first, planting seeds of doubt. He needs to question whether she's really the one. Then when I step in, he'll be relieved. He'll see me as the better choice. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold the diary. Owen took it from me, kept reading. "It gets worse," he said after a minute. He looked genuinely sick. "She was planning to drug you on the wedding day. She wrote out the whole plan. She was going to put something in your coffee the morning of the ceremony, make you too sick to leave the apartment, Then she'd show up in your dress and go through with the wedding before you could get there to stop it. I sat down hard on my sister's bed, the same bed where we used to have pillow fights when we were kids, where we'd stay up late telling each other secrets. When had she become this person? When had she decided that my life was something she could just take? We need to go, Owen said, before they get back. But I wasn't done. I went to her laptop, opened it up. She didn't have a password. Never had. I went straight to her Facebook, found the messages folder. She'd been DMing Owen from a fake account. The account had a picture of a girl I didn't recognize, pretty blonde. The messages were flirty, suggesting they meet up, telling him his girlfriend didn't have to know. I never responded to these, Owen said quickly, reading over my shoulder. I swear. I thought it was just some random person. I blocked the account. I found more accounts, 3 more, all with pictures of different girls, all messaging Owen, all trying to create the appearance that he had other options, that maybe he was the kind of guy who cheated. And then I found the worst part, screenshots. My sister had been screenshotting these fake conversations and sending them to my friends, making it look like Owen was talking to other women. I pulled out my phone, called my best friend Jenna. Hey, she answered cautiously. Did my sister send you anything about Owen? Anything about him talking to other girls? Silence. Then, yeah, like 2 months ago. I didn't tell you because the account looked fake as hell, like obviously photoshopped profile pictures. I figured it was just some spam thing. It was my sister. She was trying to make you think Owen was cheating so I'd be isolated when she made her move. Jesus Christ, Jenna exhaled sharply. Your family is actually psychotic. We hung up. I looked at Owen. He was reading through the diary again, his face getting darker with every page. She's been stalking me, he said quietly. For months. Coming to my work, following me to the gym, showing up at the places I go for lunch. She knew my whole schedule. I took the diary, took photos of the laptop screen showing all the fake accounts. Then I heard it. The front door, opening downstairs. Shit, Owen grabbed my hand. We ran for the back door, slipping out into the yard, just as I heard my mom's voice calling out. Hello? Is someone here? We made it to Owen's car, parked a block away, drove back to his apartment with the diary and my phone full of evidence. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about my sister's face at the church, how she'd really thought it would work, how she'd been so confident that Owen wouldn't be able to tell us apart, that she could just slip into my life and I'd be forced to accept it. The next morning, I made a decision. I went to my parents' house. Their car was in the driveway this time. I rang the doorbell instead of using my key. My sister answered. Her eyes were still puffy from crying. She looked at me, and I saw the exact moment she decided to play victim. Her bottom lip started trembling. Get Mom and Dad, I said. Now. She tried to close the door, but I pushed past her. My parents were in the kitchen, drinking coffee like it was a normal Sunday morning. They looked up when I walked in. We need to talk, I said. I put the diary on the table between us. Put my phone down next to it with the screenshots pulled up. About everything you've done, everything you've been doing. My sister came in behind me, sat down next to my mom. They immediately had this defensive look, like they were circling the wagons. You're upset, my mom said carefully. But breaking into our house, I didn't break in. I used my key, the key you never asked for back. I tapped the diary. Your daughter has been stalking Owen for months. She created fake social media accounts to make my friends think he was cheating. She's been texting him from a burner phone pretending to be me, trying to sabotage our relationship, and she was planning to drug me on my wedding day so she could take my place. That's not, my sister started. It's all in here. I opened the diary to a random page, started reading. I know the coffee shop she goes to every morning. If I slip the sedative in her latte, she won't wake up until the ceremony is over. Then Owen will be legally married to me and there's nothing she can do about it. My dad's face went gray. He looked at my sister. Tell me she's lying. Tell me you didn't write that. My sister's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Then she started crying. I did it because I love him. I love him more than she ever could. She doesn't appreciate him. She doesn't what? I demanded. She doesn't worship the ground he walks on? Is that it? Because I have a normal, healthy relationship with him instead of this obsessive fantasy you've built up? My sister stood up so fast her chair fell over. You've always had everything. Everything. You gotta go to college. You gotta have friends. You gotta have a life while I was stuck here with them. She pointed at our parents. Do you know what it's like being the disappointing twin? The one nobody wants? The one who can't do anything right? That's not my fault. I was shouting now too. You made yourself the disappointing one. You never tried. You never worked. You just sat back and let Mom and Dad baby you while I did everything for you. You should have shared him. My mom was crying now. He wouldn't even notice the difference. You're identical. And there it was. The core of their insanity. The belief that Owen was some kind of object I possessed that could be passed around the family. He's not a jacket, Mom. He's a person. A person who chose me. Who loves me. Not her. Me. My sister lunged. Literally tried to attack me across the kitchen table. My dad caught her, held her back while she screamed. I hate you. I hate you so much. You ruin everything. Everything that should have been mine. I pulled out my phone. Hit record. Say that again. Say all of it. Tell me how you've been sabotaging my life for years. How you called my jobs to get me fired. My dad's head snapped up. What? Oh, you didn't know about that. I looked at my parents. Tell them how you've been calling my employers, pretending to be me, saying crazy things so I'd get fired, all so I'd be too broke to leave, too dependent on the family to build my own life. My sister stopped struggling, looked at my parents. They were staring at her with identical expressions of horror. We didn't know about that, my mom whispered. We just wanted you to give her this one chance. No. I held up my phone, still recording. I want you to say it, all of it, every single thing you've done, because I'm going to send this recording to every single person who called me selfish yesterday. Every aunt, every cousin, every family friend who thought I was the bad guy for not sharing my fiancé. My dad collapsed into a chair. We just wanted you to sacrifice your happiness, for the family, for your sister's future. Say it louder, for the recording. He looked directly at my phone. We've been sabotaging your life for years, making sure you couldn't leave, couldn't build independence. We wanted you dependent on us, on the family. We thought if we kept you struggling, you'd always come back, always be here to take care of your sister. Keep going. My mom sobbed. We called your jobs. We told your first landlord you were unstable, so he'd evict you. We stole mail from colleges offering you scholarships. We've been controlling your life since you were 18 years old because we needed you here. We needed you to raise your sister because we couldn't. We didn't know how. I stopped the recording, sent it to my email, sent it to the cloud, sent it to Jenna with instructions to publish it if anything happened to me. Then I looked at my sister. She was still crying, but now she looked scared. Good. You tried to take everything from me, I said quietly. My education, my career, my home, my fiancé, my entire life, because you thought you deserved it more. I did, she whispered. I do deserve it more. I picked up the diary and my phone, walked to the door, turned back. You're going to leave Owen alone. You're going to delete every fake account. You're going to stop texting him. And if you ever come near him or me again, I'm going to the police with all of this. Stalking, identity theft, harassment, attempted drugging, all of it. You can't do that to your own family, my mom said desperately. You're not my family anymore. You stopped being my family the moment you decided I was just a resource to be used for my sister's benefit. I left, got in my car, drove to Owen's apartment. He was waiting for me, had been watching the clock since I'd texted him I was going to confront them. How'd it go? He asked. I held up my phone. I got them to confess. All of it. Everything they've done. Owen grabbed me, held me tight. I'm so proud of you. That night, I sent the recording to everyone who'd called me selfish. Every single person who'd messaged me saying I should just let my sister have Owen. I didn't add any commentary, just the audio file with a subject line. This is what you were supporting. My phone started blowing up within an hour. My grandmother called first, crying, saying she never knew they'd been treating me like that if she'd known, she would have stopped it years ago. Then my aunts, my cousins, one by one, they called to apologize. Some of them were horrified. Others tried to justify it at first until I asked them if they'd let their siblings steal their spouses. I posted it on Facebook too, tagged my entire family, let everyone see exactly who my parents and sister really were. My sister tried to file a restraining order against me the next day, claimed I was harassing her, stalking her, that I was dangerous. She went to the courthouse with my parents, played the victim, cried about how scared she was of me. The clerk processing the paperwork asked for her ID. She handed it over. The clerk looked at it, looked at her, then pulled up something on the computer. Ma'am, the clerk said slowly, you were here 2 weeks ago, trying to get a driver's license in your sister's name. My sister's face went white. We flagged your account. The DMV supervisor recognized you because you tried the same thing there the month before. The clerk stamped something. Your restraining order is denied, and I'm required to inform you that attempting to fraudulently obtain identification in someone else's name is a felony. You should expect to hear from the police. My parents tried to argue. The clerk called security. They were escorted out of the courthouse. I found out about it from the clerk herself. She called me that afternoon. I remembered your name from the reports. Thought you should know your sister tried to become you legally. I thanked her. Sent her the recording of my parents' confession. She said it would be helpful for the investigation. A week later, Owen and I decided we were done waiting. We went to City Hall, got married there with just his family as witnesses. His mom cried happy tears. His dad gave me the biggest hug. We took photos on the courthouse steps and posted them online before blocking my entire family on every platform. Within hours, my sister started emailing Owen. His work email, his personal email, emails she created that looked like they were from his boss. He just kept forwarding them all to me. We sent them to the police. Then she started showing up at his work. The first time, security escorted her out politely. The second time, they called the police. The third time, she was banned from the building and the entire company campus. Owen's IT department had to block her from the email servers because she was sending hundreds of messages a day. Desperate messages, angry messages. Messages where she pretended to be me, saying I wanted to get back together with my family. We got new phone numbers. Moved to a new apartment across town. Didn't tell anyone in my family where we went. For a month, things were quiet. Then my parents showed up. I don't know how they found us, but there they were, pounding on our door at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Owen called building security while I grabbed my phone to record. Open this door, my dad was shouting. We need to talk to you. Security arrived, asked them to leave. My dad refused, said he had a right to see his daughter. Security explained that no, he didn't. Not if his daughter didn't want to see him. They gave him 2 options, leave voluntarily or be arrested for trespassing. My mom started crying. We just want our family back together. Why are you doing this to your sister? Your daughter needs to leave, the security guard said firmly. She's made it clear she doesn't want contact with you. They finally left. Security stayed in the lobby for another hour to make sure they didn't come back. The building manager sent me an email the next day asking if I wanted to file a formal trespassing report. I said yes. My parents got a legal notice. If they came back to the building or within 100 feet of it, they'd be arrested. My dad sent me one final text before I blocked his new number too. You're cutting off your sister's health insurance. She needs that insurance. If you don't come home and fix this mess, we're going to have to drop her coverage because we can't afford it without your help. I screenshot the message, sent it to my grandmother with a note. They're threatening to hurt her unless I give up my husband. My grandmother showed up at their house that afternoon. I know because she called me after. I made sure your sister's insurance is covered. Your parents are not going to use her as leverage against you. Thank you, I whispered. I should have seen this years ago, my grandmother said. How they were treating you. I'm sorry I didn't do more. It's not your fault. It is partly my fault. I saw the signs and I explained them away. I won't make that mistake again. Another month went by. Owen and I started to relax. Started to believe maybe it was really over. Then I got a text from my old coworker, Becca. Your sister was here today, at the restaurant, asking, when you work. I called Becca immediately. What did you tell her? That you quit months ago. But girl, she was acting weird, like scary weird. Kept asking what your schedule used to be, what days you opened, what time you left. I told her I didn't remember, but honestly, I do, and I'm glad I lied. Thank you, seriously, thank you. Is she okay? Like mentally? No, not even close, I told Owen. He made me promise I'd carry pepper spray. We started varying our routines, taking different routes home, parking in different spots. It felt ridiculous, being scared of my own sister, but also completely necessary. Then came the day everything came to a head. Owen called me from work, his voice tight. She's here. She got into the building somehow. Security is trying to get her out, but she's causing a scene. I got in my car, drove to his office. I know I probably shouldn't have, but I needed to see this end. I needed to face her one more time. When I got there were police cars in the parking lot. I ran inside, found security guards and 2 cops in the lobby, and there she was, my sister, being dragged toward the exit while she screamed. He's supposed to be mine. We were supposed to get married. She stole him from me. Owen was standing with his boss and several coworkers, looking exhausted and angry. He saw me. Our eyes met across the lobby. My sister saw me too. Her screaming got louder, more desperate. You ruined my life. You ruined everything. This is all your fault. I hate you. The police were talking to her, trying to calm her down. One of them was reading her rights. They were going to arrest her for trespassing, for violating the no-contact order Owen's company had filed. Ma'am, you're banned from this building, one officer said. You need to leave now or you will be arrested. I'm not leaving without Owen. She tried to pull away from security. Owen, tell them we belong together. Owen walked up to her, looked her dead in the eye. I don't know you. I've never known you, and I never want to see you again. She broke down, completely, collapsed onto the floor, sobbing. Security had to literally carry her out while she screamed and cried. I walked over to Owen. He pulled me close, wrapped his arms around me tight. I'm sorry, I whispered. I'm so sorry my family did this to you. It's not your fault, he said into my hair. None of this is your fault. The police took statements from Owen, from his coworkers who'd witnessed my sister showing up multiple times. The security footage showed her trying to sneak into the building through a side entrance, hiding behind other employees to get past the badge readers. Owen's boss pulled us aside after. Take the rest of the week off, both of you. Paid. You need time to deal with this. We went home, ordered takeout, sat on the couch in silence while we ate. Finally, Owen spoke. I'm afraid she's never gonna stop. She has to stop eventually, I said, but I didn't sound convinced even to myself. What if she doesn't? What if she keeps escalating? What if she hurts you? I didn't have an answer to that. We sat there holding hands, both scared of what might come next. The next morning, Owen shook me awake. Look! He showed me his phone. A local news alert. Woman arrested for stalking and harassment after multi-month campaign against ex-boyfriend's wife. It was my sister. They'd posted her mugshot. She looked terrible. Hair wild, eyes red, face blotchy from crying. The article detailed everything. The fake social media accounts, the hundreds of emails, the showing up at Owen's work repeatedly after being banned. The police had built a case against her over the past month with all the evidence we'd been sending them. She was being charged with stalking, harassment, criminal trespassing, and identity theft. The prosecutor was pushing for the maximum sentence because of the premeditation and the extended timeline. My phone rang. It was my dad. I answered. What? This is your fault. His voice was cold. Your sister is in jail because you couldn't just do the right thing, because you're selfish. The right thing was tricking my husband into marrying her. We asked you to sacrifice for family. That's all we ever asked. You asked me to give up the man I love so your favorite daughter could have him instead. That's not sacrifice, Dad. That's insanity. If you don't drop the charges, you're dead to us. I've been dead to you since birth. You just kept me around to be her servant. I hung up, blocked the number. 3 weeks later, my sister took a plea deal. The prosecutor laid out exactly what they had on her, and her public defender convinced her she'd lose at trial. She pled guilty to stalking and criminal harassment, got 2 years probation, mandatory therapy, and a permanent restraining order barring her from coming within 500 feet of Owen or me. My parents tried to come to the sentencing hearing. The judge had them removed when my lawyer showed the recording of them admitting to years of abuse and manipulation. The judge added them to the restraining order too. I saw my sister one last time as they led her out of the courtroom. She looked at me. For just a second, I thought I saw regret, maybe even an apology. But then her face hardened and she turned away. Today, Owen and I are finally starting to build the life we wanted. We got a dog, started talking about buying a house, made plans for the future that don't involve looking over our shoulders. But sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night, convinced I hear someone pounding on the door, convinced I'll look out the window and see my sister standing there, still refusing to accept that she lost. Owen holds me during those moments, Reminds me that we're safe, that it's over. I want to believe him. Most days I do. A few months passed. Owen got a promotion at work. We started looking at houses in the suburbs, places with yards and good school districts for the kids we wanted to have someday. Life felt almost normal. Then one random Tuesday afternoon, I ran into my sister outside Owen's office building. I'd stopped by to bring Owen lunch. This thing we'd started doing once a week. I was walking across the parking lot when I heard shouting. Security guards were dragging someone toward the street, and that someone was screaming at the top of her lungs. My sister, she was wearing one of my old dresses, one I'd left behind at my parents' house years ago. Her hair was styled exactly like mine. She'd even bought the same shoes I wore. "Owen," she was screaming. "Owen, please, just listen to me." The security guards had her by both arms. She was fighting them, trying to break free, her feet sliding across the pavement. I froze. I should have turned around, gone back to my car, waited for this to be over, but I couldn't move. I watched as they hauled her to the property line, watched as she collapsed onto the sidewalk, crying. One of the guards saw me, recognized me from the photos in Owen's office. "Mrs. Torres, you should go inside." But my sister heard my name. Her head snapped up. Our eyes met across the parking lot. "You," she hissed. All the crying stopped. Just pure rage now. She tried to run toward me, but the guards grabbed her again. Owen came running out of the building, his tie flying behind him. "Get her out of here," one guard was saying into his radio. "We need police now." My sister was still screaming. "CPS took my baby! They took my baby, and it's all your fault! You told them! You told them everything!" I felt like I'd been slapped. "You have a kid?" Yes, I have a daughter, and she's gone because you told them I was unstable. You told them about the stalking, and now they took her." Owen pulled me back toward the building. "Don't engage with her. Come on." But I couldn't stop staring. My sister, my twin, had a whole child I never knew about. When? When did you have a baby?" She was crying again now, ugly sobbing. 6 months ago. I met someone online. We were going to get married, but then CPS called him and told him what I did to you, and he left. He left and took our daughter and gave her to the state. The police arrived. 2 officers got out of their car, already looking tired like they'd dealt with this before. "Ma'am, you're violating your restraining order," one officer said. "You need to leave immediately, or we will arrest you." I just wanted to tell her. My sister gestured wildly at me. I wanted her to know what she did. My baby is gone, and it's her fault. The officer looked at me. "Ma'am, are you pressing charges?" I should have said yes. I should have let them take her away. But all I could think about was a baby I'd never met, my niece, lost in the system because my sister couldn't stop obsessing over my husband. "I didn't tell CPS anything," I said. My voice sounded strange. "I didn't even know you had a child." "Liar!" My sister tried to lunge again, but the officers caught her. "You told them. You had to have told them." "Ma'am, we're going to need you to come with us," the officer said, pulling out handcuffs. No, I need to talk to her. She has to tell them the truth. She has to tell them I'm not crazy." They arrested her right there in the parking lot, read her rights while she screamed about her baby, about how I'd ruined her life, about how this was all my fault. Owen and I watched them put her in the back of the police car, watched them drive away. "I didn't know she had a baby," I said quietly. Owen wrapped his arm around me. "None of this is your fault. You didn't call CPS." But I couldn't stop thinking about it. That night, I called my grandmother. "Did you know my sister has a daughter?" Silence. Then, "Yes." "Why didn't anyone tell me?" "Your parents asked us not to. They said it would upset you, that you'd try to interfere." "Interfere with what? With her having a baby? With how she's raising it?" My grandmother sighed. "Sweetheart, your sister is not well. She's been using drugs, drinking, leaving the baby alone while she goes out. Your parents have been covering for her, taking care of the baby while pretending everything is fine. But someone reported them. Someone saw the baby alone in the apartment while your sister was out God knows where." I felt sick. "And they thought I reported it?" "Your sister is convinced you're behind everything bad that happens to her. She can't accept that her own choices have consequences." We talked for another hour. My grandmother told me everything. How my sister had met some guy online, got pregnant, he'd wanted nothing to do with her when he found out about the stalking charges. How my parents had begged my sister to get help, to go to therapy, to stop obsessing over Owen and focus on her daughter. But she couldn't, or wouldn't. She'd named the baby after Owen's mother, had photos of Owen all over the apartment, would tell the baby stories about Daddy Owen even though Owen had never met the child. Child Protective Services got involved after a neighbor called. Found my sister passed out drunk while the baby cried in a crib with a soiled diaper. Found evidence of drug use. Found the shrine to Owen in the bedroom. They took the baby that day. And somehow, in my sister's fractured mind, it was all my fault. I told Owen everything that night. He held me while I cried for a niece I'd never met, for a baby who deserved better than any of this. "Should we try to get custody?" I asked. "She's my niece." Owen was quiet for a long time. "If we do that, your sister will never leave us alone. She'll see it as proof we stole everything from her. Her husband, her baby, her life. But it's not right. That baby needs family. She has family, your grandmother, maybe one of your aunts. But babe, we can't save everyone, especially not when it means putting ourselves in danger." I knew he was right, but it didn't make it easier. The next day, I called my grandmother and asked about the baby. She told me she was trying to get custody, that she was going through the process with CPS, that the baby was currently in foster care but safe. "I'm too old for this," my grandmother admitted, "but I can't let her disappear into the system. She's my great-granddaughter." "Let me help," I said. "Financially, whatever you need." We arranged it quietly. I sent money for a lawyer, for baby supplies, for whatever my grandmother needed to make her home suitable for a child. Owen supported the decision even though he was worried. My sister found out somehow, started calling my grandmother, screaming that we were stealing her baby. that we had no right. My grandmother hung up and blocked her number. The custody hearing was brutal. My sister showed up, disheveled and wild-eyed. Her public defender tried to argue she was getting help, going to therapy, staying clean, but the evidence was overwhelming. The positive drug tests, the missed therapy appointments, the violation of the restraining order at Owen's work. The judge awarded custody to my grandmother. My sister lost it in the courtroom, had to be physically removed while she screamed. My grandmother called me that afternoon. It's done. I have her. I asked if I could meet my niece. My grandmother hesitated. Your sister can't know. If she finds out you've met the baby, she'll lose her mind completely. I won't tell her. We met at a park across town. My grandmother had the baby in a stroller. She was beautiful, had my sister's eyes but darker hair. She smiled when she saw me, reached out her little hands. Her name is Isabella, my grandmother said. Your sister wanted to name her something else, but the paperwork had already gone through before she could change it. I held my niece for an hour, talked to her in soft voices, bought her a teddy bear from the gift shop, made my grandmother promise to send me pictures, and I never told my sister I'd met her daughter. Life moved forward. Owen and I bought the house, got married again, this time a real ceremony with people who actually loved us. Started trying for our own baby. My sister got out of jail after 6 months for violating probation by showing up at Owen's work. Went right back to my parents' house. They enabled her like always, let her live there, paid for everything, pretended she was just going through a rough time. I blocked all of them, changed my number again, made my social media completely private, built a life where they couldn't find me. Then one day, almost a year after the parking lot incident, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. Usually I don't answer those, but something made me pick up. Hello? Is this Mrs. Torres? A woman's voice. Professional. Tired. Yes. This is Officer Mendoza with the local police department. I'm calling about your sister. My stomach dropped. Is she okay? She was arrested this morning for attempting to break into your grandmother's home. Your grandmother is fine, but your sister is claiming you need to know the truth about something. She's asking to speak with you. I'm not interested. I understand, but she's insisting. Says if you don't come down to the station, she's going to hurt herself. I closed my eyes. Even now, even after everything, she was trying to manipulate me. That's not my responsibility, I said. I agree, but I wanted to give you the option. If you want to come down and tell her yourself that you're done, maybe she'll finally accept it. Owen was against it, said it was a trap, but something in me needed closure, needed to look my sister in the eye one last time and tell her it was over. I went to the police station. They had my sister in an interrogation room. She looked terrible, skinny, pale, dark circles under her eyes. She smiled when she saw me through the glass. An officer let me in. You have 5 minutes. I sat down across from my sister, didn't say anything, just waited. You told them, she said finally, about the baby, about everything. I didn't. I swear to you, I didn't call CPS. Then who did? I don't know. Maybe the neighbor, maybe your drug dealer, maybe someone who actually cared about that baby's safety. She laughed. It sounded broken. You always hated me. I didn't hate you. I loved you. You were my twin, my other half, but you made it impossible to love you because you had everything and I had nothing. You had the same opportunities I did. You just never tried. You waited for mom and dad to hand you everything. And when that didn't work, you tried to steal my life. I deserved Owen. No, you didn't. He chose me, and no amount of stalking or scheming was ever going to change that. She started crying. I just wanted to be happy. So did I. But my happiness didn't require destroying someone else's life. I stood up. This is the last time we're ever going to see each other. I want you to understand that. I'm done. With you, with mom and dad, with all of it. If you ever come near me, Owen, or that baby again, I will make sure you go to prison for years. She didn't answer, just stared at the table. I knocked on the door. The officer let me out. I walked through the police station, out into the sunlight, and got in my car. Owen called as I was driving home. How did it go? It's over, I said. And it was. My sister took another plea deal, got a year in jail this time, plus mandatory psychiatric treatment. My parents tried to visit her, but she wouldn't see them. Blamed them for enabling her, for ruining her life. My grandmother sent me pictures of Isabella every week. The baby was thriving, happy, healthy. She'd never know the chaos she'd been born into. Owen and I had our own daughter 8 months later. We named her Grace. We didn't tell anyone outside our immediate circle. No social media announcements, no baby shower with extended family, just us and the people who'd actually been there for us. Last I heard, my sister got out of jail and moved across the country. My parents were devastated, but I couldn't bring myself to care. They'd made their choices. Let them live with the consequences. Sometimes I think about what my life would have been like if I'd given in, if I'd let my sister take my place at the wedding, if I'd sacrificed my happiness for hers. But then I look at Owen sleeping next to me, at Grace in her crib, at the life we built together despite everything. And I know I made the right choice. A few weeks ago, I ran into my sister at Owen's workplace where she's been banned from the building, security dragging her out while she screams that I ruined her life. Owen holds me close as they watch security escort her away, and I finally feel free. Make sure to click on the screen to watch other stories.